What strange times we live in. If this had happened, if Trump had been killed, surely this would have been much bigger than JFK.
Take a look at what happened. Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
And it seems that people on both sides, both the Democrats and both the Republicans, are shocked. They are furious. Those are the words that are coming out. That in this day and age, it is still thought to be worthwhile somehow for a first world country to deal with politics and democracy by assassinating people. And it's very symbolic, this moment, because when Trump went down, when he came back up again, Trump knows how the crowd thinks. He knows how the theater thinks. He knows how the people in the Matrix thinks. He's a very clever person. It was almost as if he knew when he got up and he fist bumped, he was a badass. He knew when they took a mugshot of him when he went to prison, he knew how to look. He knew how to pose. And when he got back up, he knew the world would be looking. He knew this would be his number one moment. I mean, I've got to give it to him. The man's good at being able to deal with situations off the cuff. He is a genius at doing this type of stuff. So a lot of the words that are coming out is he's a badass. This is going to be a historical moment. And it looks as if the shooter was a professional. It looks as if they knew exactly where they were going to go, how they were going to do it. They were climbing up the building with a rifle on their back within minutes or 3 minutes of them being at the top.
We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh, yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it.
It appeared that it was in multiple directions. But whatever happens, whatever it's going to be, whatever comes out, it's going to be the same as the JFK. Who did it? Where did the shots come from? Where were they? And of course, because the shooter has been killed, we will never know. It will go down in history as a mystery. It will go down in history as a mystery, just as the Kennedy went down as a mystery, and no one will ever find out. There'll be conspiracy theories forever. It will be closed by the CIA for 70 years, and no one is going to know what's going to happen. But Trump's fist rising, for me, it's theatre. For me, it's a matrix. For me, the whole thing is a setup. For me, it's an unconscious, unknown setup. And basically, the people are being played. You want Trump to become president. It's obvious he's going to become president. Everybody knows. Everybody says, from Patrick Bet-David to Tucker Carlson to him and her and it and when, and even me, that every single time you try to get Trump, his ratings go up.
Are they going to let Trump be president?
No, of course. I mean, look, if, they protested him. They called him names. He won anyway. They impeached him twice on ridiculous pretenses. They fabricated a lot about what happened on January 6th in order to impeach him again. It didn't work. He came back. Then they indicted him. It didn't work. He became more popular. Then they indicted him 3 more times. And every single time his popularity rose. So if you begin with criticism, then you go to protest, then you go to impeachment, now you go to indictment, and none of them work. What's next? I mean, graph it out, man. We're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that, but I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them, they just can't have him. I mean, they're putting him on trial in March of next year in the J6 case, which basically consists of trying to send him to prison for the rest of his life for complaining about the last election. That's literally what it is. Again, if this were happening in Moldova, the State Department would issue an all-hands-on-deck order to let the world know this is not a legitimate government. And yet our government is doing it. It's like it's hard to overstate how bad this is. And I don't know where it's going, but there's a collision that's clearly imminent. And by the way, the president is senile in a way that's impossible to deny. Biden's not running the government, so I don't know, man. I've never been this worried about anything as I am about where this is going.
When you accuse him of doing something naughty with his willy, his ratings go up. When you take him to court, his ratings go up. When you do him for perjury, his ratings go up. When you give him a mugshot, his ratings go up. And so the only way to deal with him is to get rid of him, because every single time you attempt to do something, his ratings go up. He was never seen as somebody that would have the black vote. Now he's got the black vote. Because he went to prison, or not because he went to prison, but because he had a mugshot, just like all the other black heroes, or a lot of black heroes, especially the rappers, especially the people that the black people look up to, that idolize, that see as celebrity, he's now been put in the same place, treated in the same way as what they have. And even the black comedians laugh at him. Even the black comedians know that he knows what he's talking about. So this was a real act of defiance. I mean, it's a war. The whole setup is basically the world, the evil people against Trump, and Trump is rising. He's like a phoenix. Every time he goes down, he rebirths himself. But he's not like a normal phoenix. He keeps birthing and birthing and birthing. It's almost like he's a cat phoenix, and he's got 9 lives, and he keeps coming back. But who's behind this? Well, could it be Putin? I mean, if Putin wanted to take out Trump, then it would just make the Ukraine war go on. But if Putin wanted to pretend to take Trump out and give him an assassination attempt, knowing full well that his ratings would go up, knowing full well he'd get into government, knowing full well he could work with him in order to fix and change and get rid of this Ukraine war, that could have been something that Putin has done. If you want to blame Russia and Russiagate and Russia's the problem, maybe you want to blame the Democrats.
President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts.
President, do you think this was an assassination?
You could say, well, you know, Biden put out a bullseye on his head, and there are things in the media, there are things on X, there is proof that this has happened, there are messages that have gone out, there are Democrats which have invoked or wanted assassination attempts on Trump, and now you've got it. So it seems that this is a very pivotal point in history. It's amazing to be alive at this time. We've gone through COVID, we've gone through an assassination on Trump, we've gone through a senile president who's got his button on a nuclear bomb, or the arsenal of nuclear bombs that could blow half the planet up. We're going through a Ukraine war where after 70, 80 years, war is being brought back to Europe. You're seeing power change from the West into the East. You're seeing the rise of Russia, Saudi Arabia, Arab states. You're seeing the decrease of the dollar. You're seeing the petrodollar go away because of Saudi Arabia's final time on the contract. You're seeing digital money come in. You're seeing freedoms disappearing, new laws coming in. You're seeing LGBT. You're seeing woke. And now, to top it up, the cream of the cream, now on the 13th of the 7th, 2024, there is an assassination attempt on the former president of the United States, who's re-becoming the president, which is seen as something like Kennedy. And the people, this is just going to rally people behind Trump. This is going to push him forwards, and especially as he gives out this resistance, the strangeness of it, he gets pushed to the ground, and then he comes back up, and then he says, wait, my shoes, you know, like, I don't care what's happened, I just want to put my shoes back on. I'm going out in style. I'm not going out without my shoes. I'm not going to have them do whatever they've done to cause such a problem that I'm going to be shoeless going. I'm going to have my shoes as I go. And then the security guards are trying to push him out, and he's defiant. He's saying, no, I'm not going. I refuse to go. I'm not listening to the security. I'm not listening to the Secret Service. I'm not listening to the Navy SEALs. I'm not listening to Delta Force or the Foreign Legion or the SAS or whoever Secret Service he has there. He's saying no. And he pops his head back up and he puts a fist in the air and he fist bumps the sky. And everyone's going, well, he's a badass. You know, this is a man who's got courage. This is a man that we believe in. Because a lot of the problems with the politicians is that they're cowards. They're career politicians. They're people that have been in office forever, and they take bribes from here and bribes from there. You can't bribe Trump because he's too rich. You can't tell Trump what to do because he's a boss. He's a billionaire. He's made his own money. He knows how to do business deals. He knows how to do politics. He knows how to deal with people in foreign countries. He can sponsor himself. You try to bankrupt him, he's got enough money not to bankrupt him, not to be bankrupt. The government's tried to bankrupt him. The courts are against him, and you can't get rid of the man. And everyone, and this causes admiration, because what happens is it's like a bullfight. In order to see the magnificence of a bull, you have to sacrifice it and torture it. If you like, in order to see the humility and the love of Jesus, you've got to sacrifice Jesus. You've got to put people through their paces in order to see what people are made of. You might even say war brings out the best and the worst of people. It brings out people's compassion. It brings out their love, courage. It brings out fortitude. It brings out prayer. It brings out God. It brings out all sorts of stuff, and also very many negative things as well. So as you put Trump through the ringer, as you try to destroy him, as you try to do everything you possibly can to take everything away from him, you're taking a father away from a son if you do it. So he's got a family. He's got a son. Son's growing up. Son needs him but doesn't need him, if you know what I mean. The son's at university now. He's he's not a kid. He's an adult. So Trump doesn't have that responsibility of bringing up a child. Like a baby child or an infant or a minor. He's got an adult son, and so he doesn't have a responsibility to guard his life to bring up a child. He's done that. He's already had that responsibility. Now he's free. And you got to think, man, you've got to think, my God, what's he going to do? Now, I believe that the left and the right are owned by the same people. I believe it's the same hand and two fingers. I believe in England it's like that, in France like that. I believe that the European Commission, Russia, European Union, America, it's all on the same hand. It's just all fingers on the same hand, right? So you have to look from a place of consciousness. What are we doing here? We're in a matrix system. In this matrix system, what we've got to do is grow our consciousness in order to raise our vibrations, in order to get out. That's one ideology. Another one is you've got to find God, but therefore you're believing in religions maybe. And if you're believing in religions, then you're believing in state-sponsored ideologies. But lots of people won't believe that. If you go and follow the Bible and you believe the Bible to be the word of God, then you can get out of the matrix by believing the Bible. But if you believe that the Bible's been written by someone who's been advised by something in the matrix, then you believe that the religion's just part of the matrix thing. So it becomes very difficult to understand, what to believe or not what to believe. But looking at it on a human level, if you like, ignoring the matrix and ignoring God and ignoring everything like that, and we'll push it to the sides, yeah? And we'll just look at humanity. So we'll just try and meet each other on the same level as humanity. You've got to wonder, what the hell is he going to do? What the hell is he going to do? He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his life. He doesn't care. He didn't try to run away to be with his family or his son. He didn't care. When his Secret Service, who he pays a lot of money and who've been to war and have experienced, tell him to move, he refuses. He says, I want to put my shoes on. Then when he gets his shoes on, probably, and they say, right, now you can walk, you got your shoes. He says, no, I want to stick my head out. And what does he do? He starts swearing. So they mute it on television, but he starts swearing. He drops the F-bomb. What president in public has ever started dropping F-bombs in public? No president has just looked at the cameras. He knows the cameras are rolling, and he knows the people there, and he knows this is going to go global, and he just starts swearing. Can you see Obama do that? Can you see Clinton do that? Can you see Bush do that? Can you see any president, any prime minister, any king just get back up and just look at the cameras, because he knows the cameras are there, and just start dropping F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb with a cut ear, blood dripping down, blood tears coming down. And then the rally behind, then he starts saying USA, or the people behind start saying USA and gathering people together. This is a movement. MAGA's a movement. I mean, whether you hate him or like him, MAGA's a movement. And I think that this is going to give him the vote. I think that the person that was pulling the trigger was either Trump's going to get in or he's not going to get in, and it depends whether I kill him or not. If I miss, he's getting in. If I hit him, then he's not going to get in, and maybe the Democrats are going to get in, because who's the other runner for the Republicans? And this isn't an American problem. This is a world problem, because the world's getting smaller. The problems in Ukraine are being sponsored by America. America's giving a lot of money. NATO is being paid for by America. And those things are pushing up against Russia. Russia is now friends with Modi in India. They gave him a necklace, which is like the highest thing you can possibly give anybody, that's got loads of metal, gold, silver, I don't know, whatever it is. And Putin put it on Modi, like biggest ego, biggest chinwag, biggest mates thing, and massage your back, I'll massage my back, or you massage my back, I'll massage yours. And so you can see how China, or India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, parts of Africa, Arab countries, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Palestine, Russia, that's one side. And who's going to stand up to that? You think Candace Owens going to stand up to that? You think that Kamala Harris is, or Clinton, or female Clinton is going to stand up to that, or female Obama, Iron Mike is going to stand up to that? Who's going to stand up to that? You want to have a strong president. So if this is a setup, they framed it beautifully. To have blood coming down the face. What theater? What a beautiful way, what a beautiful setup this is. Because obviously they want Trump in office. I mean, it's very, very clear they want Trump in office. It's very clear they want Keir Starmer in the UK in office, because Rishi Sunak, because he's a knackered shoe, he has just destroyed his own party. I mean, it's failed abysmally. And you've got Keir Starmer, which is now pushing. his agenda coming in. And that's like left wing, that's quite communist. But you're getting a pushback in France with Le Pen, you're getting the Dutch pushback, you're getting pushback in Poland, in Hungary. You're getting a lot of pushback which is right. It's like center, but it appears right because everything's quite left at the moment. And you've got to wonder what Trump's going to do. Because if he doesn't care about his life, if he's prepared to drop F-bombs, if he's prepared to get back up and face the shooter, they say the shooters are dead, but they say there's 2 shooters. Well, we don't know. There could be a third one. But if he's going to antagonize the shooter, he's going to jeopardize his life. If he's going to look at the courts in the face, if he's going to defy the courts, if he's got, you know, something where he may have or may not have asked some people to go and into Capitol Hill and, you know, maybe do something that they shouldn't or whatever. You know, he's saying, you know, he's going to clear the swamp. You're just poking a bear. You're poking a bull. You're poking a dragon. You're poking someone who's got a finger on atom bombs. You know, and you know, if people are going to give him a carte blanche to go and put a load of people in prison, they'll give it to him now. And that may bring in a dictatorship. It may bring in tyranny. It may bring in something very, very dangerous, right? Very dangerous. Because these are dangerous times we live in. And this, I think personally, it's a setup. I think everything's a setup, you know. Was it real? Yeah. Did he get hit? Yeah. Did he believe it's true? Yeah. Did the person shooting him think it was real? Yeah. Was there someone shooting him? Yeah. But I think everyone has been played. I think everyone's minds have been played. And I think that this war ultimately is between consciousness and non-consciousness. It's between the real God and the non-real God. And I think that when you start getting involved in sides with race and politics and division and LGBT and sexuality and gender, it's just there to divide the people. And the people go on to both sides. You know, I hate you, you hate me, I hate you, you hate me. And you just cause division. And I think the way to get out of the division is to say, well, I'm just not getting involved in this because I see 2 sides being pitted and played against each other. And I think that this assassination attempt is a very, very clever way of pitting the Republicans against the Democrats. And I think now it's going to sway in Trump's favor. And I just wonder what's going to happen when he gets in.